Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new 2015 show here, the Over Under Show. Today we have Stuart from Talking Tipsters. We've got Lee Phelps from William Hill, and we've got Jason Mills from BetAdvisor. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Now, Stuart, quickly before we start, tell us about Talking Tipsters.
Talking Tipsters, very quickly, is a tipster review site. We find the very, very best tipsters and talk about them. So we are literally Talking Tipsters.
All right, says what it is in the can. Lee Phelps, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I work for William Hill and on their in-play radio service, which concentrates on in-play betting.
Wonderful. Jason Mills?
I'm a tipster specialised in the Premier League for BetAdvisor. Stuart headhunted and found me, so trying to prove my worth on this show.
Okay, wonderful. Jason, you did very well last year. I think you are our last year's winner. Is that not right?
I don't know. Is that right?
All right. Well,
Jason got the highest score. Yeah.
I think you did pretty well. I think Stuart, you started off strong, and I think you had some bad weeks. Lee, you never quite got there. It's the same as myself.
See, in my mind, betting's always about looking forward, not back.
Exactly. It's a new year, 2015. Let's see how we're going to do.
Right, let's get to it. Come on.
All right, then. Okay, so Saturday 17th, first match to kick off is Aston Villa versus Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool are the favourites there, price 1.9. I'm going to start with you, Jason Mills. Over or under, and why?
This is a tough one to start with. This is just under for me, and I'm just going on historical records between the two. I think in the last sort of 6 home matches against Liverpool, there's been under 2.5 goals, and I can just see that happening again. Villa haven't scored in their last 4 matches. So I can't see Villa scoring. That means Liverpool are going to have to get 3, and I can't see them doing that. So I think it's going to be under.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're with the bookies there. The under's 1.78. Lee Phelps, do you agree with Jason?
Yeah, I do actually. Villa have managed just 4 goals in the last 5. Same for Liverpool. The travels actually exactly the same, 4 goals in the last 5. Slightly different way of achieving that stat. But I was looking at Balotelli and Lambert and Barini's record this week. 1 Premier League goal between the 3 of them this season. It's scandalous, really, isn't it, that they've only managed that. Benteke is not really hitting top form. I think the lack of a pre-season has really hurt his season as a whole. Liverpool are happy on the travels, especially to sit in, pass the ball around, wait for the opposition to commit, and then try and nick a goal and sit on it. Problem is, Villa do exactly the same sort of thing at home, so I can definitely see unders here.
Yeah, unders. Stuart, again, do you agree here?
Yeah, I'm going to follow the guys on with the unders as well. I mean, only 6 of Villa's 21 league games have gone over 2.5 goals this season. And Liverpool had a tough game last weekend against Sunderland. I think they're expecting more of the same. I don't see a huge amount of goals in there. I think I've almost scored as many Premier League goals as Liverpool strikers this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. So it looks like everyone agrees with the under 2.5 goals, which is good. It's where the bookies are going, 1.78. The over is priced 2.15 there. Can Aston Villa score? Maybe not. Can Liverpool score over 3 goals? So that's a worth consideration. Moving on, we've got Burnley versus Crystal Palace. The odds are closer on the winners' market. But there is actually a clear difference here of the over and the under 2.5 goals. Stuart, going to start with you on this one. Over or under 2.5 goals?
Okay, I think this one's going to go over. Burnley have got a few defensive injuries, and that hasn't helped them, but they have upped their goal scoring recently, which will definitely give them a chance. Palace had a good win in their last match, and they'll be looking to build on that. And although they're missing Balassi, they've got Zaha, and he seemed to step it up a notch in the last one. I think they can get 2 goals. I think Burnley will get 1, so a 2-1 win to Crystal Palace.
Okay, well, I can say that you are against the bookie, Stuart, on this one. Over is priced 2.38, and the under is actually quite low, 1.65. Lee, with or against the bookies?
Yeah, I'm going with the unders here. I think Crystal Palace, despite the fact that they've signed Sinogo this week on loan, I think they'll be really keen on just getting a point here at the very least. Obviously, a win would be great. You know, Burnley, 9 goals all season at home. Only scored more than 1 goal once, and that was last time out against QPR when they won 2-1. 18 goals for Palace as well. I think just so early in his reign, I think Pardew will be happy with a draw here. I'm going for a low-scoring draw, a pretty dour game as well. I think that the fear of relegation will start to really set in now. We're into the new year as well, so the fear of losing is more prevalent than the hope of winning for me in this one.
Okay, so you're the under. Now, Jason, who are you siding with then?
I'm agreeing with Lee on this one. I'm going under. Again, for historical reasons, really. When the last 6 of the last 7 times they've played each other, they've been under. So again, going with history there. So it's it's under. Fairly, my stats that I use for BetAdvisor, it's got quite a strong under sort of result for this. So that's as much as I can say for the stats, really.
All right then, so Jason and Lee with the under, Stuart there with the over. Next we've got Leicester versus Stoke. Again, close odds on the winners market. Leicester's 2.63, Stoke is priced 3 there. I'm just going to start with you, Lee, this time. Over or under 2.5 goals?
Under again. I mean, what kind of day is Saturday going to be? If I'm right. Luckily, we all know I'm not often that right. Leicester have scored 13 goals at home. 5 of them came against Man United, though, so that stat is slightly skewed. I was talking to someone who went to the Leicester QPR game. They said they could have beaten, the Leicester Villa game. So they could have beaten Villa by 6. But the problem they've got is that Nugent isn't a Premier League striker, and that they're waiting for a work permit for Kramaric. I don't think that's come through as yet, and we don't know if he'll take to Premier League football. They can't finish, Leicester. They create chances, but don't finish enough. And Stoke, I was surprised because they like to sit in and hit on the counter-attack. But again, I think finishing is their problem as well. When you look at the stats, they're very high on shots, but quite low on shots on target. So a low scorer, but quite an entertaining game, though.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. And Stuart, what are you going for?
Yeah, I'm with the under as well. I think Lee's pretty much nailed it there. Both sides can be missing players. Obviously Kramaric hasn't quite got the work permit through yet, and Chelsea will definitely be hoping that he does get it through and that he does well, because I think they've got a deal lined up for the summer as well. On the other side, you've got Mame Biram Diouf, who's going to be missing from the African Cup of Nations on the Stoke side, and he's been a big part of their attacking play this year. And I'm not sure that Bojan's going to be able to create the spaces and create the chances that he needs against Leicester. So I'm going for under.
Are you going to go for the under? That is the bookies' choice, 1.7 there. Jason, are you brave enough to go against the bookies, or are you with the bookies?
No, I'm with the bookies on this one. This is my second strongest bet of all these matches this week, for an under. Basically, if you look at how these teams play, Leicester at home tend to do just enough. Stoke, when they play away, tend to do just enough. So I can just see 1 goal for either side, or either team scoring 1 goal. Either way, I can't see any more than 2 goals being scored in this match. So it's going to be an under for me.
Mm-hmm. Are you brave enough to pick the winner, Jason, on that one, Leicester or Stoke?
That's going to be a close match. I've got a feeling that's going to be a draw, to be honest with you. Leicester are starting to sort of get some results now, and they're starting to show the form that they did at the start of the season. And they're at home. Stoke aren't that fantastic away, so possibly 1-1 draw, 0-0 draw, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. But everyone agrees here with the under 1.7, the over is 2.3. Next we've got QPR versus Manchester United. Interesting match there. Manchester United are the favourites, price 1.65. Jason, over or under 2.5 goals?
I'm going over on this one, but this all depends on whether QPR can score at home. I can't see Man United scoring more than 2, so it's going to be whether QPR can score or not, and I'm just thinking that they can. So possibly 2-1 Man United, so it might even be 2-2 or 3-1. So I'm going over. Over.
Lee, do you agree?
Yeah, I do. My first over pick of the lot so far. QPR have to attack here. They have to get wins. The home form is what's keeping them where they are. They've lost every single away game, remember. They haven't won in 3 homes now. The home fixtures, just very quickly, the home fixtures for the rest of the season are Manchester United, Southampton, Spurs, Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea, West Ham, Newcastle. I mean, they have to win. They have to attack. I think Man United will pick them off and beat them. And I do agree with Jason. It might not be easy, but I do fancy the overs. I think if Man United have got their best strikers out, then I think they will take the chances. I think they'll beat them.
Mm-hmm. All right, Stuart said you over or under 2.5 goals.
Yeah, I'm over as well. I think there's a chance that QPR could get a goal. I do think that Man U are going to win this one. They've got 5 really good attacking players. but Van Gaal has said he's only going to play 4 of them at any one time, so somebody's going to get rotated out. I think QPR will look at Manchester United's away record, which is not brilliant, to be fair, and think that they can get something from this one. And they do need the points. They need as much as they can because they are really struggling. The stats indicate this one should probably go under 2.5 because 60% of United's away games go under, and 54.5% of QPR's home games go under. So I'm going against those stats, and I'm going for the over.
Yep, going for the over. Well, over is priced 1.83. The under is priced 2.05 there. Next, we've got interesting match here: Swansea versus Chelsea. Stuart, over or under?
I'm going to go for under. I think this one will be quite a tight game. I'm expecting Chelsea to keep it quite tight, and as I said in our video a little bit earlier, I think Chelsea are going to pick up the points as well.
Can you see this one scoring?
Well, I don't think they will. I think if they were going to score, then it would go over. So I'm going with Swansea not scoring.
Okay. And Lee, what do you think?
Yeah, tricky one, isn't it? The way Chelsea are happy to beat teams 2-0. That's the problem for me here. And obviously, no Wilfred Boney scored a third of their home goals this season, a third of their goals full stop, actually, home and away. So without him, I wonder what effect that will have on Swansea, losing your best player or one of your best players. I think they'll attack a bit too much, actually. I think they'll go the other way and try and overcompensate for Boney's absence. Gomez isn't a good replacement for me. I think Chelsea will beat them. I think because it'll be open, I think Chelsea might score 3 for once. So I'll go overs.
Over, okay. And without Wilfred Boney now, Lee, how can you see Swansea doing for the rest of the season? And what sort of place do you realistically see them ending up in?
Well, I always thought they would fall away. I mean, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and maybe they won't. I always thought they'd finish around mid-table, somewhere between 12th and 10th, really. I guess. I don't see them being anywhere near the top 6. So maybe they squeak 10th, but I think there's a few teams who might just improve as the season goes on. Everton being one, and a few others who might just sneak into the top 10. So maybe 10th or 11th for Swansea.
All right then, Jason Mills, over.
Which is great. Which is no problem with that at all.
Yeah. Jason, over or under 2.5 goals?
I'm going to go under on this one. I was just looking back again at the records between these two sides, and it seems that Swansea have got the measure of Chelsea. They seem to know how to play them defensively, and they seem to stifle Chelsea's attack. So it's going to be under. I mean, just a couple of stats here. Last 4 home games, Swansea have played Chelsea. They've been under, and funny enough, I was just reading that 5 out of 6 Chelsea's 6 last games in the Premier League they've been under as well, so stats are meant to be broken, and runs can't continue forever, but I just get the feeling about this one that this one's going to be a low scoring match.
Low scoring. All right then, so yeah, under is priced 1.85 there, the over is priced 2.05. Moving on, we've got Tottenham versus Sunderland. Lee, we're going to start with you. Over or under 2.5 goals? Tottenham obviously being the favourite in this match, priced 1.62.
Yeah, tricky one. Tottenham are funny, aren't they? As a home team, they've gone. I don't need to tell that. They've gone 2-1, 0-0, 2-1, 0-0, 5-3. I mean, go figure. I mean, the second 0-0. The second 0-0 was against Manchester United when both teams looked very tired around the Christmas period. But I'm going to go over here. Jermaine Defoe. I mean, if you like a mug bet, then Jermaine Defoe to score at his own stomping ground. If everything comes through in time and he plays in the game, then that's obviously nice. Sunderland has really struggled to score goals, but they've been very good defensively as well. A lot of 0-0s, haven't they, recently? A lot of low-scoring games. But I think having Defoe in the team, if they do play Defoe, I think they will be inclined to attack more and look for him more. So I'm going to go overs here. He's got 11 in 19 for Toronto, so he's still got it, Defoe. And it wouldn't be a big surprise to see him pop up on the score sheet, would it?
Well, Spurs, yeah, they are the favourite, 1.62 there. Is this Spurs game to lose, would you say, Lee?
Yeah. Well, it should be, shouldn't it? I mean, at home, I think the home form is better than people have made out this season. I like Spurs, and obviously the cup winning midweek has buoyed them. I think Spurs, personally, obviously I'd be interested to hear what Stu thinks. I think they should target the cup. So I think they will get to the final of at least one of those 2 cups. Obviously, they're not far off in the Capital One Cup anyway. They got Sheffield United in the semi-finals, for goodness' sake. So they'll get to the final of that, no doubt. And I think they should be targeting winning one of those cups. I don't think they'll make the top 4, but yeah, this is the sort of game that they have to win.
Yeah, true. Stuart, what are your thoughts there? Do you agree with Lee?
I think Spurs have got a good chance of actually picking up a cup this year, certainly. I mean, we're 2 games away from the final of the Capital One, or the League Cup, as I prefer. You're not into sponsorship. The FA Cup, I think the FA Cup's slightly open this year. But the Europa, I think the Europa's going to be the tough one, because you've got all the Champions League sides that drop down, and one of those sides generally tends to win it. And of course, this year, any team that wins the Europa League gets automatic entry into the Champions League next year, and there's a lot of teams, targeting that. I think Tottenham are going to rotate their side from the FA Cup team that played. Lloris, Fazio, Walker, Kane, they're all expected to come back in, and as Lee said, Jermaine Defoe's probably going to play. He's been keeping up his fitness with Spurs, so he'll probably won't have done themselves any favours in that. And I believe that Jermaine Defoe has a really, really good record of scoring on his debut. I think he scored for Bournemouth, West Ham, Tottenham, Portsmouth, and I think even maybe Tottenham on his return as well. So, yeah, I think this could be a 2-1 game. I'm hoping it's 2-1 for Tottenham, obviously, especially when you consider Sunderland's record in London. It's not particularly good. So I'm going for over.
You're going to go for over. Okay, Jason Mills, which are you going for? Over or under 2.5 goals?
I'm going for over as well. I was saying to Stu earlier on in the week that Tottenham are normally a good side for me to predict, but I've only got one of their last 6 games right. They've been really erratic lately, but still getting the results, still playing well, still scoring, and that's the key to this match. They have been scoring goals, and they score well against Sunderland as well. So I can sort of was agreeing with Stuart there that I can see Sunderland scoring, but Tottenham are going to get more, so that points to the over.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly, the under is has got the shortest odds here, 2.1. The over is priced 1.83 there, so the odds are close, but obviously slightly shorter odds on the over for 1.83. Final match of Saturday is Newcastle versus Southampton. Odds are very close on the winners market. Southampton favourites 2.3, and Newcastle are priced 3.4. Jason, we'll start with you. Over or under 2.5 goals for this match?
I'm going under in this one, basically because of Southampton's away record. They just don't seem to be scoring away. The problem with that is that Newcastle are conceding goals, but I still think that Southampton are going to struggle to get goals away from home. So I'm predicting this is going to be under. Okay,
under. Stuart, and over or under?
I'm going for under as well. Newcastle have been in great goal scoring form recently since Pardee left. They definitely seem to have struggled. Southampton surprised a lot of people and done really well this year, and they've come through the tough festive schedule in a good position as well. Obviously, Newcastle have had a little bit more time to prepare, as Southampton had to navigate that slightly tricky FA Cup third round replay. So, yeah, I'm going for the under. I'm expecting this to be quite a tight game.
All right, so the under. Lee Phelps, what are you going for?
Yeah, just boring, but I'm going unders as well. I mean, I think Southampton have lost a few midfielders to injury, and they tend to protect the back four quite well for Southampton away from home. They've got a formula away from home. They didn't even divert away from it to play Ipswich during the Championship in the week. They did the same thing. Solid, get a goal, sit on it, pass the ball around. Thanks very much. We'll go away with the win. And I don't see why they would change anything here, even with the injuries. I think it's a formula, and players will slot into that formula. Newcastle, as the guys have said, up front, they're not scoring enough goals. Cisse, the man who does get the goals for them, he's gone off to the African Cup of Nations, so they've got even less strikers. But I think they will be organised. John Carver wants this job as the Newcastle manager, and I think he'll get his players organised. It's quite clear that they were playing for him in the last Premier League game, so I think it'll be an organised Newcastle against an ultra-organised Southampton, and 0-0 maybe, or maybe just 1-goal win to Southampton for me.
Okay, well, under has the shortest odds there, 1.8. The over is priced 2.1. Okay, next we move to Sunday's matches. Kicking off is West Ham versus Hull. West Ham are big favourites in this match, 1.73. Hull are priced as long as 5.5. Lee, over or under 2.5 goals?
I'm going over in this one. West Ham have scored at home in all but 2 of their games, and Hull have conceded away from home in all but 2 of their games. And look, Hull's striking options have been severely limited with the injuries to Jelavic and Hernandez. But I still think they'll try and set up and go for a draw and try and get away with a 0-0. I don't think it'll work for them though, unfortunately. I really like West Ham. The form's dipped a little bit, but they've got such good attacking players. I think Enner Valencia's due another goal or two as well soon. Andy Carroll's come back from injury in superb form, and even without Diafra-Sakho, I think they've got goals in them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this one quite high scoring. If West Ham score early and Hull have to come out, I think we could maybe see something like a 3-1 to West Ham here.
All right, then 3-1 there. Jason Mills, over under 2.5 goals.
I'm going to go completely against Lee there. I'm going to say this is going to be an under. I think Hull are just going to set up shop and just try and get an away point here. They're not playing that well at the moment. They're desperately in need of some points, and I think they're just going to try and close up shop and try and cancel West Ham out. Maybe get a goal on the break. I think it's going to be quite a low scoring match. So under for me.
Under for you. Okay, so Stuart, all in your hands here. Over or under?
I'm going for the over. I'm going to be with Lee, and I'm going to go against Jason. He knows I'm a big fan, but I'm not with him this time. West Ham haven't won a league game in 2015, and they'll definitely want 3 points here after 2 draws. And also that FA Cup match, which went all the way to penalties, and a decent number of penalties as well. That's going to have tired them out. Hull have been poor for much of the season, but they did get a recent win against Everton. That'll give them a bit of a boost, but they have got 9 players injured. And going for 3 points in this one is going to be tough. So I'm with the over.
With the over. All right, then. Well, the bookies are with you, Stuart. With you, Jason. The under's price 1.83. The over's price 2.1 there. Final match on Sunday. Quite a match-up here. Manchester City versus Arsenal. Manchester City are the favourites there. Home advantage, price 1.83. Arsenal price 4.5. Lee, starting with you, the over or the under 2.5 goals?
Overs I'll go for here. The Community Shield was 3-0 to Arsenal. The game at the Emirates was 2-2. What Arsenal should do is they should go to Manchester City and learn from what lesser clubs have done. And lesser clubs in inverted commas, where they've shut up shop, they've made it difficult for Manchester City, and they've tried to hit them on the break. Arsenal won't do that. They haven't got the defence to do that. They've just got attacking players coming back from injury. It'll be too tempting, won't it? You got Ramsey on the bench in the last game, Ozil coming on. Welbeck's getting close to fitness. You've already got Sanchez and Giroud and all the rest of them. So Arsenal will probably attack. City will pick them off, and it'll be 4-4, something ridiculous. No, but I think, in all seriousness, I think with Aguero back and the quality that City have got, the only doubt for me is that Yaya Toure is missing for City. But I'm going to go for goals in this one. An entertaining 4 o'clock kickoff in the UK on the Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go for overs here.
Okay, so you're going for the overs. Stuart, which one are you going for? Over or under 2.5 goals?
I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to be way out on my own on this one, because I'm going to go for the under, which is definitely the underdog bet. I think you've got 2 sides here. You've got Arsenal, who they're a good side, but they play one style of football, and they don't exactly adapt well. They've also got massive holes in midfield. They've got so many injuries, so I think there's problems there. And then you've got City, who are a really good side, and probably the best side, the best squad in the Premiership. I think they were my tip to win the Premiership at the start of the season, and they're going to want all 3 points. And just with Pellegrini being such a good tactical manager, I think they're going to get that. I think it'll be 1-0 or 2-0 to City. So I'm going for the under.
It is a game almost where you can't bet against it going over. You're expecting with both teams, you're expecting goals, but it's probably quite likely that it's 0-1 or something. Do you know what I mean? But you wouldn't be surprised then to see a 1-0 or something. Jason, what are you going for? Over or under 2.5 goals?
Well, I was going to make exactly the same point that you just made. My stats are screaming that this is going to be an over. You just look at, the talent that's on that football pitch. The actual goal scoring ability. It's absolutely amazing. But this is one of those situations where stats, you just can't go by stats all the time. Because I've seen it so many times where such a strong scoring side playing another strong scoring side just cancel each other out. I've got to go for the overs. My numbers are telling me to go with the overs, but the fear is what tactics are employed. How these managers going to play against each other. It could either be a 3-3, 4-3 classic, or it could be a 0-0 ball draw. So
exactly, yeah. Yeah, well, it'll be it's an exciting one to watch, that's for sure. The over, obviously, 1.62 there, that's not a surprise. And the under's price, 2.45. So quite a return for your money if you're brave enough to back the under.
Everyone remember this game last year? I backed over 8.5 goals in the match.
Over 8.5.
Yeah, three.
Over 8.5 goals in a match.
You believe that? You believe anything?
Did you think Tottenham were playing or something? No.
Well, I mean, if we get a game like that again, 6-3 last year. I mean, one of those shows from Arsenal, wasn't it? It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We won't get that again.
No. Pretty unlikely.
All right, so final match of the weekend is on Monday, playing on Monday 19th, Everton versus West Brom. Everton are the favourites, 1.87 there. West Brom price 5. The draw 3.6. Stuart, going to start with you. Over or under 2.5 goals? What's your pick?
I'm going to go for the over 2.5 goals. I mean, Everton are a pretty wasteful side this season. I think they've scored the highest amount of goals but the lowest number of points, or something like that kind of ratio. It's pretty bad. West Brom are going to be fired up. They've just had a decent week of training under their belts, and I'm sure that they've been going for the set piece. Don't give them the ball, set piece. You know, so I think Everton might even slip a little bit further down the table this weekend. So yeah, I'm going for the over. I'm expecting a few set piece goals. It's probably not going to be a game of classics.
Mm-hmm. Everton are having they're having a bad run of late. Can you see them sliding? How further can you see them sliding down the table, Stuart?
I can see them sliding another place, but I think they're going to perk up and pick up some points towards the end of the season. I don't think they're going to end up where they are now. Obviously, this week's going to be harder. They've got Howard, Pienaar, and McGeady all going to miss this game either through injury or suspension. And there's 3 players of that quality. It's going to be harder.
Mm-hmm. Lee, what's your thoughts here? What are you siding with, the over or the under 2.5 goals?
I'm going for unders here. You know, when Tony Pulis went to Crystal Palace, when they were in all sorts of trouble. By the way, West Brom aren't anywhere near the trouble Crystal Palace were when he went in to rescue them. He started with a 1-0 win away at Hull City. I think they conceded 3 goals in the first 4 away games, and 2 of those were at Chelsea. So, you know, I think as Stuart was alluding to there, we all know what Tony Pulis' MO is. It's be solid, it's be disciplined, it's be organised. I think he'll go to Everton with the idea that we don't concede here. We get away with a 0-0 draw if we have to. If we can nick a goal, fantastic. And funnily enough, with Everton, I think they're having to do the same sort of thing as well, for the reasons that Stuart mentioned there, that they've scored but conceded so many. I think they're actually going back to basics a little bit and being more organised. So I can see this. Everton haven't got any fear of relegation, but they can't lose this game. They can, you know, Roberto Martinez cannot lose to West Brom at home, or his job could be on the line. So I think that the fear of losing will be uppermost in their minds. So I'm going to go for either a 0-0 or a 1-1 draw here. So under 2.5 goals for me.
Okay, under for you. Jason Mills, over or under 2.5 goals?
Just under. This is such a close match to predict. When I crunched all my numbers, I'll show you how close it was. I got 51% for under, 49% for over. That's the tightest match of this week percentage-wise, and for all the reasons that the guys just said. I mean, you've got West Brom with a new manager trying to consolidate and prove himself. You've got Everton sliding down the table. They're looking at West Brom thinking we've got a chance to get 3 points here. So I think both sides are going to just try and snatch a 1-0 win, you know, for similar reasons. So I think it's just going to be going to be under. Okay,
so that's the under. Under is priced 1.83, and the over is priced 2.1. So that looks like it wraps things up here for this week's over under show. I will put everybody's choices in the description below this video. If there is something wrong, do let me know. But guys, thanks for coming on today, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
No problem. I'll probably let you know after the results if that's all right, Natalie.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you soon, bye.